Well, hello, and welcome to ReginaldESQ. I'm Underhook, and this is my review of the British Tier 7 medium tank, the Comet. So, is it any good? Well, it's alright, if you like that sort of thing.
Yes, it's alright. If you wish to fire premium ammo continuously, it's probably a good tank. Let's get into the review. It has 1,150 hit points, which is average for a Tier 7 medium tank. The weight of 33 tons is on the lower side of average, so you do need to be careful who you ram with this tank. The speed and handling of this tank are, in my opinion, a disappointment. Let me explain that a little bit. The Cromwell, which is the tank you get before this one, has the same chassis. In fact, it looks very similar, the chassis-wise. The only difference really in appearance is the turret, and this has this little chunk out of the back bit that the Cromwell doesn't have. So you kind of... It has better armor, but the result of that is it's much slower than the Cromwell and handles much worse than the Cromwell, even though on paper it shouldn't. So that is kind of disappointing. The speed of this tank is 52 kilometers an hour, which is on the lower side of average for a Tier 7 medium, and the reverse speed of 18 kilometers an hour is the equal worst that shares that honour with the Chi-Ri. The track traverse of this tank is 36 degrees, which isn't the worst, but it's pretty poor. The only tanks that are worse are the Chi-Ri with 34 and the Panther with 32, both of those tanks having fairly legendary poor handling. The funny thing is, though, the Cromwell also had 36 degrees of track traverse, but it handled much better than this tank. So, as we've come to learn, a lot of the time the stats the WG quote are not accurate, hence why we need reviews. So yeah, it doesn't handle as well, and it's not as quick. However, the turret traverse is very good with 48 degrees, and that is the equal second best, along with the T43. The best is the KV13 with 50, so it's right up there, very good. So you can always keep your gun trained on your enemies if they're trying to circle you, or if you're trying to circle them. Works quite well. View range of 380 is on the upper side of average. In fact, the only one with better view range is the T20 with 390, so that's a good feature of the tank. And the signal range of 700 is average. Another good thing about this tank is the camouflage. It's on the upper side of average. Quite good camouflage, and you don't really have major dramas with being spotted, so that's pretty important in a tank that can't take many hits. One of the best features of this tank, and probably is the best feature of this tank, is its gun depression. It has a gun depression of 12 degrees, which is mighty for a Tier 7 tank. The next best in Tier 7 is the Chi-Ri and the T20. Both have minus 10 degrees. The other thing about this is the elevation is 20 degrees, and that's pretty good. The Cromwell only had 15, and that was a problem with the Cromwell. With this tank, they've eliminated that issue with this turret, and it's much better. But 12 degrees really is very, very good. It enables you to hill fight very well. The only problem, or where it gets into problems with this tank, is it doesn't have great penetration or damage with the gun. So the hill fighting ability becomes a problem because you have to expose yourself so many times that I found anyway I tend to get blasted. So let me explain that by going into the grind and having a look at the grind. Okay. Just as a word of caution, to get the turret and the gun, you do need to get the tracks first. Now, tracks do increase your traverse from 34 to 36. Engine upgrade, I found not a great benefit. Anyway, let's get into the gun here. Alright, so it's a 76mm gun, has a 15.38 rate of fire, which is not bad. Has a penetration of 148, which is pretty terrible. And a damage of 140. Just to give you an idea of how poor the penetration is, that's worse than the Chi-Ri. It doesn't cause as many problems as it did on the Chi-Ri, though, because the Chi-Ri was such a poor handling tank and had such poor camouflage that it was very difficult to outflank people in the Chi-Ri, because you just get spotted straight away, and it's not that fast. This tank has the speed and the camouflage ability to allow you to outflank the other tanks, so you can kind of then reposition and get them from the side. So it's not as big a drama as it was in the Chi-Ri, but it still is a problem, especially when you consider you're facing Tier 9 tanks. So that's a problem. If you wish to, though, you could eliminate that problem by firing premium ammunition. And I'm pretty sure the people who do really well in this tank fire quite a bit of premium fire. The damage is the other problem with this gun, is 140, which is quite low. So once again, if you compare that, say, to the Chiri only does 130, but it has a 3-shot magazine, so you fire 3 shots in one go. So yeah, it is an issue with the 140 damage. To put it in perspective, to shoot a tank, another Comet for example, you pretty much have to penetrate it 10 times to kill it. Now if you bounce any shots, then that's on top of that how many shots. That means just to kill another tier 7 medium tank, you have to expose yourself 10, 12, 13 times. To kill a tier 9 tank, you're going to have to expose yourself maybe 20 times. So it is a bit dicey, especially when the armor, unfortunately, it's much thicker, but it just doesn't hold up. And the yeah, it just doesn't kind of work for me. You really need to be a great player, I think, and know of all of the sneaky sniping spots to probably make this tank work really well. The gun does have good accuracy at 0.34, that's quite good, and the aiming time of 2.3 is okay. So let's get back into the tank. Is there anything else I need to tell you about this tank before we go into Tank Inspector? Oh yeah, just like the Cromwell, if the gun goes out the back, these exhaust venti things or covers do stop the gun depression. So you have 0 gun depression out the back. Just be aware of that if you're on a hill and you need to turn your gun all the way around. Another weird thing about this, when you first get the tank, the handling is really bad. Now, the turret and gun combination puts an extra 2,080 kilograms onto the tank, and I was expecting it to all of a sudden handle worse, but guess what? It actually handles better once you put them on. Yes, that's silly, but that's wargaming for you. Other than that, it doesn't suffer really badly from module damage. The module damage is actually okay in this tank. Like, it doesn't, yeah, there's nothing that happens to it every time it gets hit, like some of the other more fragile tanks do. So that's good. Alright, let's get into Tank Inspector and have a look at some gameplay. As usual, I've forgotten to tell you what setup I'm having in the tank for the gameplay. The tank has vents fitted, and it will have camouflage net and binoculars as well. And the crew are fully trained. The commander has 6th Sense, Mentor, and is partly trained in camouflage. Yeah, this guy has Deadeye and a bit of camouflage. Deadeye's not that good, but it's just happened to be on there. Repairs 100% camouflage and a little bit of smooth ride on that driver. And we have 100% camouflage, 93% situational awareness, and 100% camouflage, 100% repairs, and a bit of firefighting from the loader. Okay. Alright, so let's check out the Comet in Tank Inspector. Let's get that up. As you can see, the armor is still fairly primitive with the flat, quite flat. The lower plate here, and indeed the completely flat upper plate, in fact this lower glacis is pretty flat too, is only 76mm thick, which will be penetrated, especially it being flat, by most tanks you come across. The upper plate of 32 is only 32mm, sorry, and even though it's very well sloped, it's going to be very easily penetrated. Side of the tank is also 32mm thick, and the lower part here, you can just see it poking out here, is 43mm thick. However, with the tracks overlaying it, it does a bit better at 84. This little blue section here is quite weak. I think it's just an exhaust or air inlet or something. On the back of the tank we have 32mm of armor. Alright, the turret is probably the interesting part and the part that you're going to rely on the most because it is really a hill fighting tank. So they have beefed up the armor a fair bit. We've got 111 mils at the front. Now of course against any tier 9 tank and most tier 8 tanks that's not going to do anything, but against some tier 7 tanks you might bounce the odd shot. Now the mantlet, center mantlet area though is pretty good. We've got here the pink area here is 110mm, which overlays the 111mm underneath, so that's very good, 260 there. So tier 9 tanks can still punch a hole, but you might still bounce some there. This section here though is only the top 110mm, but on the side parts here it's definitely overlaying the armor underneath. The blue section isn't quite as good. It's 53 mils overlaying the 111 underneath. Now that area there, I have to be honest and say I never bounced a single shot off that blue area. That blue area, they just punch straight through it. The red area, they just punch straight through it. I bounced the occasional shot off this pink area, but not very many. Yeah, and unfortunately, I don't know what other servers are like, but the SEA server at the moment, people are just using premium ammunition a lot. Some people are firing it just all the time, and it means that, you know, things like this just don't hold up, unfortunately. The side of the turret is 63, and you have some little hatches here, which are down to 57. The rear is 57, and same on the other side there. The cupola is pretty good at 111, but yeah, you do kind of get hit there sometimes, and this top bit is pretty sloped, as you can see here, and that's 51 millimeters. So sometimes they will hit that as they're aiming for the cupola. Yeah, that's about it. Let's get into some gameplay. Okay, so it's a tier 8 game, and we're in our tier 7 Comet. Just over half the tanks are tier 8s, and there's a few tier 6s as well. Do apologise for my family yelling at each other in the background, if you can hear that. Arguing about chocolates they are. Alright, now this is a great map for this tank. Lots of undulating sand dunes and stuff, so for a tank with great gun depression that's also fairly manoeuvrable, it's a very good tank. It's a very good, yeah, it's a good tank for this map. Sorry, very good map. Okay, so hopefully I don't get shot here, so we can get one on the way past. And we do, and luckily the IS-6 missed us. And we've got a T-71 on top of the hills. This is not good. We're almost surrounded in a way. If they take the hill and start sweeping down the hill, I'm stuffed. So I have to go and help these guys on the hill here, try and secure this hill. Okay, T-71's been driven off, but we've got more tanks up the top, quite a few more. Type 58 took some heavy damage. We've got 3 tanks up here, 2 tank destroyers and a tank, KV-1S just here. So this is where this tank is good. See, I can just go for the cupola, not show too much of my tank. I should be reasonably safe from artillery here as well. Bit unlucky that one hit the rock. It's giving us more of a target now, that's easier. And we managed to track him, see if we can keep him tracked. Oh, okay, that was all we needed to do. 25/2's come out. T7 tank destroyer. Same gun as the Hellcat from memory, but a good tank destroyer. That one I quite liked playing it. And we've got an ARL V39 there as well. So, like I say, this is perfect terrain for this tank.
Enemy armor is hit. Penetration.
Whoa, I thought that might happen. I focused too long on the ARL, and the 25/2 snuck up and shot me. He's got good gun depression as well. So yeah.
Enemy armor is hit.
He's looking at me again. Now I was thought about going straight down, but I thought no, I just want to see if I get an easy shot, but I thought his gun's probably pointing straight at me. So what I'm thinking now is I can't see anyone behind me there. I want to take care of this T25/2. I don't want the T58 there to do it because he's on, or T59, he's on low health, so it's too risky. I can take a shot, but I figure he's got bad turret traverse, so if I can just drive past him really quickly, and he's not even looking at me, so it's a bonus. I think he was waiting for me to come over that edge where I was before. Alright, so that worked out well. Yeah, so we were able to show there using our good gun depression on the hills, and then using our superior turret traverse against the T-25/2. So good demo of the tank in that respect. Might just have a quick look and see where we were penetrated by the 25/2 straight into the lower plate there. Okay, so it has the same pen as the T6 Hellcat, that gun. KV5 up there. I don't have much chance of penetrating a KV5, but I could get this SU on the side. If I wanted to move, it doesn't work, so I decided to stop now and shoot.
Enemy armor is hit.
We're winning this game quite convincingly now. It's 12-3. They only have 3 tanks left. Now, I foolishly decide here to have a shot at the KV5. There's really no point. Unless I can get the little R2-D2 thing, I can't pin it. Even if I get the R2-D2, I can't pin it. And he gets a really good shot on me as I'm backing off. You see that it's gone right through the top of the tank. You see that's gone straight through the top of our turret. And then normally that would be a ricochet. But I think it penetrated because it's overmatched. Oh, artillery, you sneaky bugger. Wow, that was sneaky. Not a bad spot, I'll have to remember that. Alright, so I'm obviously heading back to see if I can clean up this artillery. It happens to be the only tank remaining on their team now is this artillery. So I would really love to get this to finish off the game. Ah, oh well. It wasn't a great game, but it was just it was a pretty quick game, and it was really just a demonstration of the flexibility of the tank. We hit quite a few tanks anyway, and it was a class 2 badge. We finished on top actually for experience, not for damage though. We're down a list a bit in damage. And let's see, shots fired 20, direct hits 14, accuracy wasn't great. Penetrations out of the 14 were 12, which is very good. Damage of 1628, I'm happy with that. Hits received 2, both of them penetrated. And we spotted 1, damaged 5, destroyed 1. A little bit of spotting damage, 455. And some little mission bonus there, but even so, it's a fairly profitable tank as you'd expect at this tier. And the experience of 959, I think it is a class 2. Next game. The map is Ruinberg. It's a tier 7 game, and I'm in a tier 7 Comet, so that's a good thing. I'm going to speed it up because at this time in the game I'm answering the front door. Takes about a minute. And now we're in the game. Okay, slowing back down to normal speed. So sometimes when you're in a fairly quick tank, it's not a bad idea to actually sit in cap for a minute before you move. And it's worked out quite well. There's a Jack Panther. Shoot, get rid of that truck out of the way. And he turns his side. Thank you very much, sir. It looks like everyone's shooting at him now. That looked like artillery, that last shot. Missed him. Now I can't really penetrate the front, so it's really handy that he keeps turning to the side. Now he's trying to run away from the look of it. I aim for his track, and I think we actually get his lower plate. And we get him in the side, and someone finished him off. So that was pretty fortunate. Good little bit there. So shooting from cover, he couldn't shoot, couldn't see me. So in the last game, we demonstrated the hill fighting and gun depression abilities of this tank. This game we're not doing that. This game we're really just going to see the, I guess the maneuverability of a medium tank insofar as covering areas of the map and moving to different positions and that sort of stuff. Now, I think I mentioned, I'm not sure if I actually mentioned in the review or not, but one of the downsides of this tank is the lack of damage with the gun. So, but a lot of the mediums of this tier are sort of like that. You really need to hit, say if I was fighting against another Comet, I'd really need to hit it about 10 times to kill it. Penetrate it about 10 times. And that's, you know, means that you're exposing yourself a lot of times. Now I just go psycho here and attack. I got bored. Now I bounced off the ELC, but then he bounced off me, so I suppose that's fair. Looks like our artillery hit the ELC, which is a great shot. So I decide now I'll just see if I can cruise around the back of this VK and try and circle him and see what happens. And he's asleep at the wheel.
Penetration.
He hasn't moved. He's still aiming aside. He just fired his gun at someone. I shot him twice. Now he's retreating, but he still doesn't know I'm behind him. I think now he knows he's starting to turn, so I decide to move off a little bit. And you can see the tank doesn't take off very fast, not like the Cromwell used to. So it's a bit sluggish off the line. Okay, now we've got a Hellcat in front of us.
Penetration.
Now they are capping. You can see they're 62% capped. I'd like to go back and reset the cap, but I can't, because if I go there now, this Hellcat will shoot me in the back, or he should if he's any good. So I really have to do my best to get rid of this Hellcat first
Enemy armor is hit.
before I can go anywhere else. As you can see, once again, the takeoff of this tank isn't quick,
Enemy armor is destroyed.
but it shoots pretty well. Okay, so I see that KV-1S there. I decide to go and see what we can do there. Someone's hit it already, and the cap's been reset, so that's not so urgent now. Just going to speed this up to 2 times. Now, someone has just killed the KV-1S. Looks like it was our Panzer SFL there. So I'm not required to do that anymore. So I decide to turn around, and I can see there's 3 all, and they have artillery. So I decide I'm going to go and get their artillery. So I'm heading back this way. Now, I make a big mistake here. As I went past, I spotted the Tiger P. I really should have taken at least a shot from there at the Tiger P before moving, but I didn't. Now you can see on the map there that the Tiger P is attacking our Cheeto, and their Chinu is not far away as well. So, and right now our Cheeto is history. He's just been killed, and that really I probably should have helped. So now there's 2 of us against 3 of them. That was a bad move on my part, but I was going for that artillery. I've got to keep going for that artillery now, otherwise it was pointless. Yeah, if I could have kept the Cheeto alive, it would have been a lot better. Alright, so there it is.
Enemy armor is damaged. Enemy
And
armor
managed
is
to get rid of it.
destroyed.
Now I don't want to drive forward through there because I've been spotted, and the Tiger and the Chino will be waiting for me. So I decide to head back into the forest again, where there's a bit of cover. My intention now is to head back to our base where our Panzer SFL is, and because I think they might be about to rush our base, so I'm going to go up there and try and support the Panzer SFL. So I'm going to speed it up a little bit. 4 times. And we'll slow it back down. There we go, normal speed again. I decided to cut across now because the Panzer SFL and I can see each other now. So if someone's on this side of the hill shooting at me, the Panzer SFL will have shots on it. And I'm just trying to see if there's anyone lurking around here. So now I'm just going to pop my head around this corner and see if they're trying to sneak up at this corner here. And it doesn't look like they are. 2 against 2. I'm pretty sure that Tiger, he's got 4 kills. He probably wants a top gun, so I'm pretty sure he's going to come after us. Alright, speeding up to 2 times again. I'm heading back to our cap. Just trying to see. I'm assuming they're going to come through the town. I've just come from the forest, so I know they're not there. Just trying to see if they're down this alley or anything. Now, I'm sure there's people watching this saying you're being way too cautious, and I probably am. But we've got plenty of time. Still 5 minutes to go. And I want to stay alive. I decide to back into this alley so that I can drive forwards out if I'm spotted really quickly, in case I see both of them at once or something. Because I really want to be in a position where the SFL and I can put combine our fire on the enemy. I don't want to be in a position where it's just me. Now I know the Panzer SFL can see down this street, or I'm pretty sure. I'm beginning to get a little worried. They might be just defending their cap, or they have a cunning plan which cannot fail. They have a cunning plan. The Tiger is just shot our Panzer SFL. I've got to get back there now as fast as possible and provide support. Damn it, I didn't see that coming. They've hit him again. I can't get a shot on the Tiger, he's behind the building. He's dead. Bugger. That's not good. That's not good at all. The Tiger is lowish health, below, he's about a third health. I just fired a blind shot there, it missed, and now he knows where I am, I guess. Or probably, well, the bushes might have concealed me. Alright, there he is. Let's see if we can do something here. Alright, we get a shot into him. Oh, there's the Chinu as well. Get another shot into the Tiger. He gets one into us. The Chinu bounces off us. So there you go, we do bounce some shots. I decided to go for the Chinu because I can see that he's almost dead. And he bounced another one off me. This time we track the Tiger and I move back behind the building out of fire. And I decide to maneuver up this way just to try and confuse him, but I think he's ready for us. He shoots and penetrates me. I'm pretty sure now I can outshoot him. Get another one into him. And he's gone. Yay! So, a victory, even though I made a couple of bad mistakes. The was enough for a Class 1 game, which is great. Let's have a look at the next screen. So we finished on top for experience and top for damage as well. Sorry to the Panzer SFL driver who I wasn't able to support there at the end. And their Tiger P driver did pretty well. He got 5 kills, just missed his top gun, luckily for me. And he did more damage too. He did over 3,000 damage. Now, this screen we can see we fired 29 shots, of which 24 were direct hits. That's pretty good accuracy. And of those 24, 22 penetrated. That's really good. Damage was a tier 7 game though, so obviously tier 8 and 9 games don't fare as well. In tier 9 games you'll bounce a lot of shots unless you use a lot of premium. Damage of 2,524 is pretty good. I think the most I've done this tank is about 2,900. Hits received 6, penetrations 4, so we did bounce 2 shots off the Chinu at the end there. Enemy vehicle spotted 2, damage 6, destroyed 5. Did we destroy 5 vehicles? Oh wow, okay, that's really good. Damage due to our assistance was 208, and we got 30 base defense points. And as you can see, made a huge profit, but half of that profit was due to a mission bonus of 33. So we would have made 33 profit anyway, which is pretty good. And 1196 raw experience was enough for Class 1 in this tank. I didn't get Master in this tank, so I suppose Mastery would be about, what, 1,300, something like that, which is pretty high. So there must be some people out there having very good games in this tank. So yeah, you can probably take it from that you know, my gameplay in this tank is probably pretty average, and there are much better drivers out there. Have fun. Thank you for watching my review of the Comet. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more reviews, please subscribe to ReginaldESQ. Have fun.